You know, the amount of customers that aren't using AI safely is a bit scary, really. They're just naturally going to be left behind. The hackers are now using AI to do hacking on scale, you know, sending out way more emails, they're way more intricate.
Hi and welcome to Business Voices TV, the place for business news, stories, tips, inspiration, everything from all around the region. So the topic today is AI. There is no doubt AI is here to stay, but for SMEs, how are you going to keep up? What do you need to do to be safe? And what do you really need to do to flourish in this ever-changing world? Well, we've got Will from Netserve with us today, who is an expert in all things AI, and he's going to give us some hints and tips about how to do all of that. So thanks for coming along.
No worries.
So let's kick off with who are the main players in AI that SMEs need to watch out for or be aware of, and what sort of things are they offering SMEs, and you know, what should people get involved in?
Yeah, so I mean, it's such a fast-moving pace out there in the AI industry. Main players still at the moment, you've got Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini. I would say it's still the main players, you know, all the three big ones, and that seems to be what most of our clients are using and what most of the world is using. Yeah, so that's...
Okay, and what way are the SMEs kind of utilising this at the moment? And I mean, there'll still be some that aren't, I guess, but you know, what are mainly people using it for?
Yeah, we're seeing more and more people using it now on, I'd say, more of an operational level. So using it to rewrite emails, check terms and conditions on their contracts, or you know, if you've got an insurance renewal that comes through, you can chuck it straight into the AI now, and as long as it's safe, we'll talk about that later, I'm sure. But
yes,
yeah, and it, you know, it helps read things quickly, it gives you answers, gives you brainstorming. So yeah, it's speeding up the sort of operational admin work, I find, for not just us, but a lot of our clients. That's what they seem to be using it for.
Okay, and we talked about, you mentioned safe there, so I think, you know, I think obviously there was quite a lot of nervousness early doors about this, and quite a lot of stories about information being shared and things. Is that real, or is that just scaremongering, or is that something we should be worrying about?
No, I really do think it should be something that people should be worried about, because the amount of times, you know, we're trying to get around to all our clients at the moment, and essentially, you know, I've been doing this over 20 years now. I signed up to IT when it was IT support, fixing printers and broken machines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then it moved into cybersecurity. We had to introduce that and obviously grow with that, and now we're moving into the AI partner era. So we're talking to a lot of clients and making sure that they're using AI safely, and it's amazing the amount of clients that I'm chatting to at the moment that have got free ChatGPT accounts with their personal emails, and it's just pretty much unrestricted use, you know, and often we're finding of stories where people are putting company data into that, client lists and all that kind of stuff.
So what's the problem with doing it? Let's be honest, what is the issue? What happens?
Sounds like a great idea, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and
like,
putting your, I don't know, your profit and loss in, or your whole company accounts, or your client list, and getting it to, you know, what people are using it for is things like, you know, you've got a client list and you've got a load of emails and you want to match up the emails to the client list to send out a mail shot, you know? Sounds great, doesn't it? But if you're using a free account or even a paid account, you've got to make sure it's set up correctly, first of all. This is the bare minimum on security side of things. You've got to make sure it's not training the AI model. You know, there's normally a setting inside your account somewhere. You've got to turn that off. I was having a chat with someone recently, and they've been feeding lots and lots of data in, and I said to him, do you know what, let me just double check the settings on your phone. And it was turned. It wasn't turned off.
Well, that's something to consider, isn't it? Because people are using it possibly on their computers and also on their phones. So you've got to check both places, because that one's not going to replicate across. Is that? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly.
I think desperately thinking I better check mine actually. So
and he had a mad panic, you know.
So when you're putting stuff in there, it's going up onto public domain. Then so people could get it.
If you're signing up directly to the three big companies, it'll be sending that data to them. They'll be going into their systems, their servers. They'll be processing that data, then learning off that, and then using that for other people's queries, that kind of stuff. Obviously, it's supposed to depersonalize and get rid of names and company names, but at the end of the day, as soon as you've put that in and clicked submit and done whatever you need to, that data's not in your responsibility anymore. You know, it's with the big boys, and you just don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
So I suppose if people are also feeding nonsense data or rubbish data, that's where some of that's not going to help us out, is it? Because we're going to get nonsense data back out as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I think everybody thought that was a good idea at the beginning. I remember I thought, oh, that's really good. We're all helping to train it up and get it. But
well,
didn't
I
realise.
think there's lots of ways that these machines learn. Learn what to respond, and obviously that's why you'll see they can do hallucinations. AI can give you what it thinks is a gospel answer, but actually it might be the wrong answer. So there is terms and conditions all over these things. So
it's only going to get worse, though, isn't it? Then the more people, because people are feeding this all the time. I remember Google once used to be very precise, and now you can get a lot of fake off that as well. Can't you? Get a lot of fake news and things like that. Okay, well, that's something to be wary of. So make sure your settings are set so you're not training the model. Okay.
And if you're using AI in a small business, you really should have some advisors, like your IT company, your MSP, like someone like us, would come in, look at what you're using it for, and then make sure you're using it safely, because there's a lot of products now. I wouldn't recommend, actually, we're moving away now from people going and signing up themselves to ChatGPT, Claude and Gemini. Obviously, Copilot comes with your 365 as well. It's a little bit more secure as well. But yeah, a lot of companies that are still going and signing up directly, actually, we're finding there's new companies now that are more GDPR compliant because they've got like UK data centers and stuff like that.
Right.
They don't train the model and they're not hosting it with the big providers. You can go and do your AI stuff, but in a safe environment.
Okay.
So
it's good to get some guidance and advice
options,
on that.
So a good IT provider will be able to give you some good options on safe AI use, really.
And so the hosting bit is interesting as well. So we don't know where things are being hosted, I guess, or you can find out, or
you'll be able to find out. Ask your AI where it hosts stuff, and it should tell you. Or look through the terms and conditions.
Terms and conditions. You mentioned that. Okay. Where do you find that in these systems? Is it really hidden or easy enough? I suppose you could just ask it. Show me your terms and conditions. Right?
Definitely. And also, with apps as well. When you're feeding data into apps, company data, it's amazing where these apps. We found one recently. Someone was using an app for work, and the data centers were in Turkey, which is a little bit of a grey area. You shouldn't really be feeding UK data in if it's got personally identifiable information into that kind of stuff, because it breaches GDPR. It's always good to check your terms and conditions.
Okay. I didn't even think there was any for AI products, I must admit. Okay, so there are the three big players you mentioned there, but there's lots, isn't there? There's lots. I mean, I've seen there's lots of specialist bundles that are being made up as well. I understand for different kind of types of business types as well, like media companies, that kind of thing. Are bundles worth looking at, do you think, Will?
Yeah, there's a lot of these sort of social media adverts that are doing the rounds saying, you can get some to your bookkeeping, your social media posts, all your admin, draft your emails, reply to emails. Be a little bit wary of those. Obviously, we don't use them ourselves or don't recommend them for business use, just because we haven't really seen any beneficial value. All the sort of social media posts look a bit the same.
Right, okay.
So, I think we're moving into an era where people are actually going to start doing it manually and wanting to do it manually, because otherwise
to prove they're not doing it.
And even spelling things wrong and stuff like that on purpose, because otherwise it's all going to look AI. It's all too perfect, isn't it?
Too perfect.
All the images generated stuff. But with the sort of bundled stuff, it's have a look, find out what works for you. If it's going to, time-saving exercise, great. But I would look at what they're using behind the scenes, because often they're just a skin, and they'll be using like Claude behind the scenes, or ChatGPT or OpenAI or something like that behind the scenes. So really you're just paying for them to do some prompts for you, a nice front end.
That makes sense. So with regard to the bundles and stuff like that though, do you think that AI really has a big place? I think we were talking about this pre the interview, really. We're talking about for operational stuff, for process-driven stuff, for fact-based stuff. It really has its place, doesn't it? Because there's not a great need for a personality interjection or a creative interjection. So do you think, is that where we're at? It's
definitely
much more on the operational point than it is on the creative bits, really?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's no different from everyone going from no calculator, doing calculations on paper, to accountants using calculators. It's just going to become the natural. Everyone's going to be using it to help assist them in their roles. That's, I mean, we're moving into an era now where, you know, people are looking at, can I replace jobs and stuff like that? But I think we're a little bit away from that. What it's more doing is making people more efficient in their current roles.
I think it has got a good role for that, hasn't it? Because I think the efficiency of just being quicker, a lot quicker at reading through contracts or looking at terms and conditions or something like that. It's just so much quicker than having to do that all manually now. So there's definitely, but obviously you still have to have that sanity check on these things, don't you? You can't just gospel assume it. So businesses that are not in a space at the moment where they're feeling confident or they're even dipping their toe into the AI stuff, they probably are, but they don't even know they're doing it, right? Because things are changing in Google land, you were saying as well. So what's going to happen to those businesses, do you think, who are point blank refusing to adopt any of this stuff? Will it be a big deal, or what will happen?
I think they're just naturally going to be left behind, because I think the speed of doing stuff is getting so much quicker, you know. Since using different AI tools, you know, my throughput of emails is about 3 times the amount a day, you know, and I can get through those because I use a mixture of dictation and transcription and all sorts of stuff that helps me efficient. That's just my own AI journey, be much more efficient. And obviously then if I'm up, you know, we're working against another company that's not using AI, they're just not going to be as responsive or as quick as everyone else using AI. So I think that's the natural. If you know, companies may sort of just drop off naturally because they're not embracing AI and they're just not able to keep up with the speed that the rest of the world's working in.
Sure. I think, I use AI a fair bit, but I think one of my frustrations is the companies that are using it for their receptionists, to the point of when you're trying to get help on something and you've got a chatbot and you're on the chatbot and you're saying da 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 da. And I still think it's quite a way off being able to cope with that at the moment, because it's kind of a frustrating journey for me because I'm like, can you help me with this? And then it says, oh, would you like to give us an overview of what you need? And I thought, I've just have. So you go, okay, copy, paste. I want help with that. Oh, would you like me to put you through to somebody? Seriously? So I think, I'm not sure how much we need to adopt it yet and whether it would do a little bit of damage.
I know. It's interesting, isn't it? The people that go in deep and start putting it on as their sort of shop front, answering the phones and replying to emails.
I've yet to have a good experience on that at the moment. I think, like we said earlier, for the operational pieces. So I think if you're just like, I don't know, I need to order 5 of those. Great, right? You've got no question and you've got nothing else you want to ask. But when you've got a problem, it doesn't seem quite capable of answering that problem just yet.
It's getting there, you know. It's getting there, you know.
Maybe I've just been really unlucky with the companies I've been with.
It is getting there, but it depends what your USP is for your company. You know, if you're quick and efficient and cheap, you might want to put AI on everything because it reduces your staff. But if your USP is, you know, we're still humans and we want to answer the phone and deal with you quickly and give you quick customer service.
Do you know, I think you're right. I think that is going to be a clear divide, isn't it? We are going to find the people that are using we are people behind the scenes as a sales piece are going to become a choice for certain company types, and then other people, like you say, you just want quick, efficient, get it done, get it dusted, I don't need human interaction. They're going to love the AI bits. It's going to be cheaper, quicker, in theory easier. Okay, well, watch this space, we'll see what happens next. But obviously we've all got to be mindful all the time about, like, it is getting super clever. We used to worry about scams, didn't we? We used to worry about, you know, being hacked and people getting into our passwords and stuff. But there's a whole nother world that's being opened up now with AI capability, isn't there? So, you know, what sort of scams have we got worried about for SMEs particularly? Because we all think as SMEs, well, no one's going to want my data. No one's going to want to hack me. I'm not important enough. But from personal experience, as you well know, that's not the truth. I've had a few problems. So what sort of things do SMEs really need to watch out for? What sort of famous scams have been going and doing the rounds that we've all got to watch for?
Do you know, I was at a conference recently in London about cybersecurity, and their stat was there's still 96% of all UK data breaches are via email. So, you know,
wow.
And obviously AI is taking that to the next level.
We all like to think we won't be that stupid, don't we?
Yeah.
But are you stupid though? Because they're getting more clever.
Well, the hackers are now using AI to do hacking on scale. You know, sending out way more emails. They're way more intricate. They're getting into accounts and then planting fake links in genuine accounts and then sending that out to all your clients. That kind of stuff. You know, so that is on the up. We're seeing there's just way more. So it's really important to have not just your normal mailbox protection, advanced mailbox protection these days.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that stops junk email coming in, stops the dodgy links being clicked. You know, it still can happen. You can't 100% block everything because you know, the hackers are always ahead.
And the trouble is, the links don't look dodgy. They look genuine.
Yeah. And it's normally from someone you know as
well. That's what happened to me. Someone I was expecting this from as well. But, you know, and I think also the other thing I have noticed, and I don't know if I'm right on this, is they're being quite patient, aren't they? They're not necessarily, the scam doesn't come up the second. You don't get an email and then go, oh, something's happened. You get an email and you go, oh, okay, I got away with that. But actually, you're not sure you did, right? I've seen that going on.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to still see quite a lot of companies that are doing their own IT, you know, and not really, it's hard to run your business and then stay up with the trends on cybersecurity and stuff like that. So, and often we'll hear on the back end because they've been hacked or something like that and they come to us for help. So, definitely, I would say the main thing to focus on is your mailboxes, keep them safe and secure, and don't click dodgy links. And if it is, remember, if you get an email, even if it's from someone you know, and you're like, oh, there's always that feeling of like, I don't know, this doesn't feel completely right.
If you get even that slightly gut feeling.
Call them on a number that you know is for them.
Yeah, not the number that's on there.
Yeah, because that could be doctored. Yeah. And the other thing, so recently we had a client that they were using some recycling company that they've used locally for yonks. They went on the same website and clicked on to do a whole, empty some paperwork and all that kind of stuff, get it shredded. And the website had been hacked and they got a script run on that website on their machine. Luckily, we obviously caught it and isolated it. But it shows, it's not even like, you know, back in the old days, people would try and stream a dodgy live event or something and get a virus on their machine. But now it's like legit, you know, we're seeing more legit websites that are being hacked. And actually, when we contacted the company that had been hacked, they didn't even realise. So
I guess they wouldn't have done that. But this is what I mean about this kind of, they kind of lurk. It's not like immediately obvious that there's a problem, is it? They're kind of collecting behind the scenes. And is it really, is it AI or is it just the movement of technology that's really causing this upload? I mean, is it AI's fault that these hacks are becoming more sophisticated than that, or is it just the modern tech, that's what happens?
No, I think it is. Yeah. Because, you know, people can set up these AI hack bots en masse and they can do all this sending out email stuff like
thousands and thousands instead of individuals doing it.
Yeah, it's not an individual person anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
It's machines.
So it is AI's fault. We have to be much more resilient.
It's definitely part of it.
We need to consider, so AI, those of us that are using it or those of us that are considering using it, when we are using it, what happens if something goes wrong? I mean, is there an AI ombudsman? What is that about?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so this one got me thinking. I don't think there is at the moment. It's very new, obviously, and things like governments and stuff like that take time to update the. And
as far as they're catching up, it's moving on.
Yeah. But I think the main thing is, you know, if you've got to worry about data. Personally identifiable data, company data, that kind of stuff. It's the ICO in the UK.
Everyone should be registered on that already, right?
Yeah, it should be registered and you can get advice from them. And then obviously Ofcom as well is another one you can go to, you know, if you find some dodgy results on there or something illegal or something like that, then you can report these things to Ofcom as well.
Okay. And we mentioned already T's and C's, really important to have a look at your systems that you're using. What are the terms and conditions and where are they storing the information and that you're not training it. So those are double check things we should be really, really careful of.
Yeah, definitely. And I had a little look earlier on. The government still say that if there is a breach or some kind of problem, it's the business that has done it. It's still their responsibility.
Really?
It's not, you can't just blame it on the AI. Okay. So you've got to be very careful how you're using AI, where you're putting your data and how it's all set up.
And what decisions you're making based on what you find out on AI, I guess, as well. Because it's still ultimately your decision as a business owner to clarify and check this stuff.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, massive question now. We could take up another hour and a half having this conversation and it would still not be current because the future of AI. I mean, while we've been sat in this room, I suspect somebody's created something new somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, for SMEs, where do you think they should be looking? What direction of travel do you think we're going down?
So I think what we're seeing at the moment is everyone's now embracing AI. You know, it's part of their home life, part of their business, to make things more efficient, make things quicker, make things funner sometimes. You know, you can do all sorts in there. So that's obviously in place. But now I think what we're leaning more towards now in the next couple of years, could even be a couple of months, you know, the speed that it's going, is people are now developing their own applications and their own bots and their own systems and stuff like that, you know, and you can do this stuff now without knowing any coding, you know. Often, you know, in the past you'd have to have a mathematical brain and go to university and study to build something, but now you can do it in seconds just by telling it what you want, you know. And these like, for example, Claude Code can just build stuff. You've got some off-the-shelf, even easier code builders that you can pay for online to build apps. And actually, we're seeing clients now building their own applications.
Really?
Chatting to one recently, care home industry. They're now building applications that work better than the ones that they're subscribing to for their stuff, because it's tailored for them. If you come up with a new idea, you just ask it another question. Say, hey, do you know what, can you put a button there? Can you do that? Can you make it send me an email when it does this? And it's really easy. And we're getting business owners doing that now.
Oh my gosh.
So
you can literally talk like as if you and I are talking and give it instruction and it will build that for you.
Yep. You give it an idea and it runs away.
Good gracious.
Yeah. So obviously that's the scary sort of time for, you know, software as a service. Where's that going? Because, you know, at the moment, a lot of companies are spending hundreds of pounds a month, if not thousands, with subscriptions for their billing, for their CRM, for all this kind of stuff. And now people are starting to make their own versions of these things.
Oh my gosh.
And it's not going to be long until you can say, we've done it internally actually. We've said, right, we want a new documentation system. It's a bit of proof of concept. My AI developer has gone and got the 3 main products, found the best reviews and the worst reviews for those things, and said make a superpower. And he's
built it.
Yeah, he's about 20 hours in. He's enjoying himself.
Okay.
Yeah. But
so what takes the time with that? When 20 hours in, so you're writing the command prompts as old school we used to know what it was.
What's taking the time is because I keep coming up with new ideas. Yeah. Like,
otherwise it'd be well done by now.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So timing wise though, because I think I can't imagine every business owner is going to want to literally be doing this. Okay, I think you have to have that kind of brain as well. You don't have to be techie, but I think you have to like see the big picture and believe it's possible and know what you want. But an operational brain could say, I've got this process. Can you AI my process? Can you automate my process? And it needs to have these touch points and it needs to have this outcome and I want to know these results, and basically you can build a system. And so how long does that is it quite quick? Does AI turn that around fairly quick, or does it spend hours thinking about it?
It all depends what you're trying to do, really, because the ideas are endless, aren't they? You can it's so bespoke. I suppose it's always good to chat to a company that can specialise in it. We're starting to specialise in it because we are, in the IT industry, everything's process driven. Everything's right, do this, then this, and this, and this. Always has been.
And if that doesn't work, do that. Turn it off.
And then you kind of need to speak to someone that's very process driven, that knows how a process works from start to finish and all different routes.
And can consider all the different possibilities. Because quite often people look at process and they only understand the linear way, like if this goes well. You need to think about, well, hang on.
All the different.
Hence why I get frustrated on the bots, because okay.
And then you've got to make sure that it's safe as well. So don't just go spinning stuff up, put it in the cloud, and make sure that
GDPR.
If
you're collecting customer data, where are you going to put it? Really big deal.
Whatever you're doing is safe. And then the final thing I think you need someone that's creative, like an ideas person, because now back in the old days, developers might not have been very creative, but creative might not have been very good at developing. Now you've got the two that collide. And the opportunities are endless. You can build the most amazing complex system that you really want. That can
very exciting in a way,
which is really good. So still not fully there yet, but we're in the first stage of that, where people are starting to build their own stuff. And obviously we're staying heavily involved with that, because what we're going to specialise in is building that stuff with them. Because
I still think you would need a bit of handholding. Not every business owner is going to be able to do this. They might come to you with a concept and say, I really want a system that does this, and what we've been using so far is not fit for purpose. We've been struggling and keyholing for so long now. But I just imagine it opens the market for new industry, new ideas, even people that are going to think really out of the box about what they're producing, because they've had to be pigeonholed into a way of working before that maybe not anymore. But I worry that people are going to forget about GDPR, they'll forget about security, they'll forget about where this information is going. So
that's why it's good to have a play and try some new things. Just be very careful with data. Your client list, your client clients' names, any personally identifiable information. Very careful. Obviously have a play, and then when you get to a brick wall, or you're like, oh man, this is really good. This is I want to go live with this. Get a specialist in to come and help you.
Just come and check.
Yeah.
So the good news is the developers are not out on the streets yet.
No, exactly. Yeah.
They just need to adapt as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are we all going to keep up with this, Will, over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, year? I mean, can you imagine what the landscape's going to look like a year from today?
Yeah.
We can't.
Yeah. I mean, we're just starting to push a new product, which is safe AI use, because that's the next big thing moving, I feel. You know, the amount of customers that aren't using AI safely is a bit scary, really. So once that's in play, then it's all about partnering with someone that knows their stuff in the AI industry.
And how are we going to keep up with the new language? I guess we don't need to worry about this language because it's just going to talk to us, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to have to learn anything.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. This is so interesting. Well, watch this space, right? Thank you so much. It's been so nice to talk to you. Thank you for everything. Well, there you have it. Let's see where AI takes us next.